Now we're going to transition into blue-white control. This is the last deck of the night for the channel point redemption. So this is one of the most recent lists that I found, with a couple of my own personal changes per usual. So we have cut a 4th Teferi, and we're playing a Dream Trawler. And there was a Saw It coming, and we're now playing the Starnheim Unleashed, which is the Foretell Entreat the Angels. So it looks pretty sweet. I really like playing the three Supreme Verdicts and the 1 for Farewell. I think that's pretty good. 4 Wandering Emperors is really good. That card just slots really well into that spot. I mean, this is a very solid list. I really like what we're looking at. You have the playset of Portable Holes, 1 Fateful Absence, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Aether Gust is good. Narset's Reversal is really good. 2 Mystical Dispute is solid. 2 extra Shark Typhoons to try and help win the game. Hullbreaker Horror is so good. Damping Sphere in the right matchups can be great. And Dovin's Veto is just a really good card. So, I mean, we're looking at a pretty solid deck all the way around here. Kind of excited to end the night on Pioneer, I won't lie. Because I'm streaming tonight, and then... excuse me. And then on Thursday or Friday, I'll be having like a, welcome to the new home stream. And I'll be playing Edoxy's black-white eyes. It's like similar to a taxes list. I'm either gonna have to go back and find that list in my browser history from looking at it, or I'll have to get him to shoot me the link. So I'm pretty excited about... honestly, I'm just kind of excited about where Pioneer's at in general right now. I think the Luris ban was really good. I don't know that the card should have been banned. I think the card probably should have been... banned as a companion, because I think a 3-2 with lifelink that you can play cards 2 or less off of from your graveyard is actually not a bad card. The fact that there was like a minimal window where you could Thought Seize it is what made it so busted. You had to, just being able to buy Luris whenever you wanted to was so good. And before that, I mean, the rule before that was even more broken. So I'm glad that they've made some appropriate changes there. I wish you could still play it in your deck though, because I would be really willing to try that. As a solid curve filler in like a white-red aggro deck. I think that would be honestly might not be a bad 1 or 2 of in Feather, if that was an option. If you could do that, so a few things like that I wish they would have changed, but it's been not bad. It's been pretty. I like where the format's at now. It's pretty control dominated, honestly, but that's okay. Rolling Vortex is just such a good Magic card. I'm watching Connor Man play right now, and he's playing in the Pioneer Super Qualifier, and he's playing against Fires of Invention, and Rolling Vortex is just so good. Like, I know it's really good in that matchup, but Rolling Vortex is so good in so many matchups, in my opinion. Changed the stream title? I did update the stream title, man. Thought I did anyway. Yeah, it's accurate on my end. I think if you've been watching the whole time, and you're still watching, it might not have updated yet. But I appreciate that catch, though. Yeah, we're not keeping this. Okay, obviously we're not going to draw any lands in our 26 land deck. What the flying hell? Okay, I mean... yeah, that was very weird. We saw... I just refreshed it. Good now? Okay, sweet. I mean, we saw 3 separate hands. And not one of them had more than 2 lands in it. That was a pretty weird feeling. Hopefully Censor into... I highly doubt 4 cards is going to be good enough to win any matchup. I don't even know what we're playing against, but I highly doubt it's going to be good enough here. Like, at this point, they're playing Winota. We just need to try and keep stuff off the field. I was like, if they want to use their treasure token, that's fine. Yep. Well, about to get cheesed out by Winota here, it appears. I mean, not much we can do on a mulligan to 4. Jeez. Jeez. Oh my god, are we just dead? I mean, I was like, because I'm still kind of playing out the Supreme Verdict here. Like 11, 12, 13. Turn 3 like last night? Yeah, it is turn 3 like last night, isn't it? It's actually kind of insane. We are kind of playing out the Supreme Verdict here. Like, we're going to 7, but if we could just like hit Supreme Verdict randomly, we would actually be not in a bad spot. Gonna get an island here. This is my first ever hand with this deck. I feel dirty. I'm sorry. Oh. Alright, so we had the out of Supreme Verdict there, but oh no, the next card. That's why you never look. That's why you never look. Okay. Portable Hole. Fateful Absence. Aether Gust. Dovin's Veto seems real bad. Narset seems fine. Does the deck run Settle? So none of the lists that I saw were running Settle. It was something that I considered playing, but none of the lists that I saw were playing it, so I decided against it. Never mind, I see the list now. Gotcha. Yeah, so I think that the Starnheim well, the Angels actually might not be bad on curve if we need it here to like block up a little bit. Maybe we're cutting. Are we cutting a Wandering Emperor? There's no way. There's no way we're cutting a Wandering Emperor. Yeah, I mean, maybe we are, actually, because... Oh, I don't know. I mean, I can't see that. I think we're cutting a Memory Deluge before we're cutting that. Let's try it. Woo! I'm throwing cards on the floor again. That's the second time I've done that tonight. Alright, well, hopefully we don't have to mulligan a bunch of times. I automatically want to keep this hand because because it has our colors in it. Not gonna lie, I kind of get a kick out of our opponent saying what they said about the whole feeling dirty thing. Like, you know, it's funny to hear people say stuff like that. I wish people didn't feel that way at times, if you want the truth. Just go ahead and get this out there. Settle right now seems OP, especially with Winota being one of the top decks in the format. Yeah, so Winota, I mean, Settle definitely seems good. I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten what Settle is, like what it does, just because like it's not played a ton. But I think Settle is a very good card. I actually played Blue-White Control with Approach of the Second Sun and Settle the Wreckage in Standard for a while, and I was a pretty big fan of that deck. Oh, please go for the Winota here. Man, you do not get to live that dream very often. Getting to do that and hold up Absorb next turn. Yeah, I think we're just gonna hold up Absorb here. Yeah, like, there aren't many times that I've, like, opted to play Control. Like, I will occasionally, just when I think, like, when Control is just so good that you just can't ignore it, I'll play it. But other than that, I really stay away from Control, honestly. Then I played Bant Approach. Bant Approach was an insane deck also. I did play that deck. I played that deck also. Is it a land here? I think I'd actually rather just hold the Starnheim Unleashed here in case they actually have a third Winota here to run out. I'm actually willing to let this happen because if they want to take the Shark Typhoon here, I'm okay with that too. Like whatever they decide to take here is fine with me. If they take the Starnheim Unleashed, then we're just wait until we're in a spot where we can pay 4 mana and do that. So my first SCG event was Blue-White Control during the RTR block. Shit was stressful dealing with Mono Black Devotion. Yeah, so I actually started playing after RTR, but I went back and watched all of those like Pro Tours, and so I know what deck you're talking about. Like, you're talking about the Blue-White Control deck with like Sphinx's Rev and like Elixir of Immortality and stuff like that. I think is what you're talking about. Had like Elspeth, like 6 mana Elspeth in it, so that was actually a pretty sweet deck. Ooh, they do decide to take that. That's interesting. Yeah. So I started playing in Magic Origins. I'm actually just gonna... I actually started playing in Magic Origins when... yeah, I started playing in Magic Origins when, like when Mono Red was the big thing. Like Yo Larson's Mono Red deck was the thing to beat. Foretell this and say go. It's white XX, right? Yeah, white XX. You've had 3 Winotas in the top 12 cards. Man, that's insane. Good for you, opponent. Like, that's honestly just insane. Yeah, that mono red Yo Larson deck that won the Pro Tour was the first deck that I ever played. And it was like one of my favorite decks of all time. We will minus Narset, take Absorb. Cast Supreme Verdict and say go. The fact that they know that we have Farewell left in our hand is just bonkers. Like, we're still at 13 here. Like, we're at 13, and we have Farewell, Teferi, and Absorb in our hand. Man, like, tell me that's your only play this turn. Well, Chariot's actually not bad, but Farewell just doesn't care about Chariot. Exile all graveyards, all enchantments, all creatures, all artifacts. Yeah, we'll pick everything. Like, oh my god, that card's insane. Like, I don't know how you like win after that. With Outburst and Stoke the Flames, I think yes, absolutely. That was that format, man. That was like, honestly, like that was like my like format, like come to Jesus moment. Like that was when I knew I was gonna love Burn, like until the end of time. Alright, and they just conceded the Teferi. I mean, it makes sense. Hard for them to win on the draw like that. So, I mean, I think Narset to try and find us something is, like, not bad. Teferi might be too slow here. I don't know what else we want, though. Like, nothing else is, like, really worth. Did you ever play a Tarka Red? Yeah, so actually, my first open was at my first open was at was SCG Atlanta in 2016, and I was playing a Tarka Red with a transitional sideboard into Red Black Dragons and got 24th. I actually punted my winning in. I almost top 8'd my first open, so I love that deck, man. I played that deck until like there was nothing left on that deck. Did you ever play? Like, what did you play during that standard? March is good. Teferi's kind of slow. Like, maybe Mystical Dispute is just better than Narset and a Teferi? Because, like, we can counter something? I mean, maybe that's the way to go. Like, having Mystical Dispute to, like having, like, it just as a 3, like, as an extra cancel early in the game is not bad. I had the deck foiled. Oh, dude, that's awesome. That's really cool. So, I mean, I think this hand's really good. Like, we have some exiling capability, and we have some counter spells here. We'll play the island and say go. There's no reason to play the pathway. There's nothing they're going to do this turn that I'm going to want to exile. I was thinking about trying something like that in Pioneer. So, I've tried that a couple times. I've tried to play a Tarka Red a couple times in Pioneer. I have my most recent list that I played, and I did okay with it. Like, it was fine. Man, now my land's coming to play tapped here? Jesus Christ, this is terrible. So, I guess that is a reason to play my, to play my white source on turn 1. We could have exiled that stupid thing. But yeah, I mean, like, it's not bad. I just don't have a ton of success with it. Like, honestly, like, I've never really had a ton of success with any kind of, like, sly aggro-style deck like that in Pioneer. So, it could just be Red-Green Burn instead of Boros Charm or Tarka's Command. I mean, that's also very, like, a very plausible option. Like, a Tarka's Command is awesome. I always feel a little weird when I talk about playing something like that because I love to play... I love to play more creatures when I'm doing something like that. With the Atarka's Command. Jeez, what are we doing here? I guess I'm just putting this into play tapped and saying go here, and then we're holding a March of Otherworldly Light here if we need it. I mean, I guess I'm pitching this. Wait, what? Pay X. X can't be less than 3. Yeah, I mean, I might have paid too much for it. I'm not sure there, but I'm okay with that. We'll just mod last night's list. I mean, yeah, I'd be down to try that too. And see what happens. So, we're just going to hope that they play something we can absorb here. That's, like, honestly our best bet. We just need to survive long enough to get to Farewell. Like, once we get to Farewell, I think we're in the driver's seat here. Basically, anything they play here, I'm probably just going to absorb it. But Archon of Emeria really slowed us down. Knowing that we were going to draw the Mystical Dispute, it probably would have been better to pitch the Absorb and hang on to the other removal spell. That might have been the more correct option anyway, because we're able to exile the Chariot before it can attack. Just off the top of my head. I'll work on something and send it to you? Okay, man, that sounds good. Yep. I mean, it's also possible that they don't play anything here because they realize that they just have to attack us twice, and we actually have to do something to beat them. So... we have to pay 6 for this, right? Yeah, I thought so. Alright, well... I mean, I would say we could have pitched the farewell because of, like, we need to... if we don't get to it, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, like, if we don't have the farewell, like, I don't think we stand a chance of winning this game, like, basically ever. Alright, that puts us to 9. We still need a good draw step here. I mean, I think that keeps us alive, but we have to hit an untapped land here. You have to pay 3 and discard it. I mean, that's fine. You're Winota. You're not doing anything during your beginning of combat phase with mana, so... Alright. Deal 4 damage to this. Take 3, 5, 6, go to 3. And then Farewell gets us there, hopefully. I mean, we have to hit an untapped land here. Like, it can be a shock land, even, to put us to 1, but we have to hit an untapped land here. If we don't, we're dead. Alright, then playing an Archon into that feels pretty good. Please. No! Sad days are sad. Alright, well, we had a good fight there. Like... I mean, maybe I'm not supposed to crack the Field of Ruin because we're leaving a land in our deck there. That way so that we can see an extra land. But, I don't know. Like... I guess with the Archon of Emeria, we had to have a basic too. So, using the Field of Ruin... Like, we used the Field of Ruin before the Archon, so we didn't know. But at the same time, like... Yeah, we probably shouldn't have used the Field of Ruin there. And also, we shouldn't have pitched the other March of the Otherworldly Light. We should have pitched the other... We should have pitched the Absorb. I know the Absorb gained us 3 life and kept us alive in that situation, but if we have the other March of the Otherworldly Light the turn before that, we're actually able to just save more damage on the Elite Spellbinder. So... Alright, hopefully we don't have to mulligan to, like, 4 this game, so that, you know, we get to play all 3 games. Because the first game was, like, you know, like, even, like, hey, what's going on? Hey, White Ninja, we just played, man. That's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I really got a kick out of you saying that you felt dirty, man. Like, I did get a kick out of that, but you played well, man. It was a good game. I appreciate it. I really like this hand. I think this is solid. Yorion? God, it was gross. Yeah, dude, the first game was insane. I was on a mulligan to 4, and you just, like, flopped your cards on the table, and I just lost. It was definitely what I liked. Like, I was talking about this last night when I was playing. The ceiling of a Winota draw is, like, almost unbeatable, it feels like. Like, it feels like those are, like, the draws that, like, you just can't do anything about. I'm going to go ahead and foretell this. We're playing against a Yorion deck, so I highly doubt there's anything I'm going to want to censor. But we'll see what our opponent's on here. I probably wasn't going to censor Birth of Melitus. Like, the odds of them actually needing that land are not very high. I'm just going to play the Castle Ardenvale here and say go. We can use the Field of Ruin to blow up the Rogren Triome here and kind of take them off their land fixing a little bit, considering they have 2 plant land. Definitely just going to censor that. Feels pretty solid. So now we're just going to hold up the Absorb. I don't think we really have a way to play around that. Opponent goes to 22. I kind of hope he just slams the Fires of Invention here, if you want the truth. I'm wondering if he has the Mystical Dispute. No? Yeah, see, that's the problem here is that I just don't think we can give them the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That card is just so good. Like, that card is everywhere. Untap land for Teferi? I think I'd rather just save the Portable Hole. Like, I don't know what we're really going to be using it for, but I still think it's just better, like, just in case. Plus, honestly, what we might end up doing is pitching the Portable Hole to the March of the Otherworldly Light this game. That's a tough scene. Artifact, creature, or enchantment. Element of the Sea. Okay, and they're going to shock in. Alright, we'll do this. We'll get an island. And then hopefully we're hitting land for Teferi here. I think I gotta cast this now to try and hit a land. Like, I think that's just where I'm at. I think I just need to hit a land. I think... Into your hand. I think Hall and Narset are good. It's possible that we should have just taken both the lands there to try and make sure that we fill our curve. But I think having the option of... Teferi and to bounce their Narset, or just Narset here, is honestly pretty good. They went bottom on that, and now they're... Oof. Taking Hall of Storm Giants is backbreaking too. This game feels over. I think missing a land drop was just really bad for us there. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop it up here. Like, we're missing land drops. They're very far ahead on the lands race, and that's honestly tough to come back from. Shark Typhoon, Hullbreaker Horror, Mystical Dispute, Dovin's Veto, Aether Gust. All seem good. Do not like Portable Hole. It's going to be weird, but I'll just put all the cards I don't want over there. I think Farewell is actually not bad here. I actually kind of like Farewell. What, we're bringing in 3, 6, 8 cards, and we got 6 cards we're taking out. Leave in 1 Supreme Verdict and 1 Supreme Verdict and 1 Farewell just to try and help clean up here. Seems not bad. Now we are playing around them having Mystical Disputes and, you know, Dovin's Vetoes and things of that nature. So I'm actually just gonna cycle a Dovin's Veto here. I really like this hand, and it is very good, but I need to cycle one early because we do need to hit lands. Like, hitting lands are very important. There are 26 in the deck, so I'm not uberly worried about, you know, missing a land drop. Plus we have a second Censor we can cycle if we need it, so... Well, drawing our 1-of Supreme Verdict that early is not great. I'm just going to go ahead and cycle this too. We want to make sure we're hitting lands here. Like, I have zero shame in the fact that we just want to keep hitting land drops. Nah, there's no point. We have Mystical Dispute and a 4th land here. We can cycle the Shark next turn if we don't draw a land. Okay. Probably should have seen that coming, honestly. So I actually really like cycling the Shark here. We cycle the Shark to go in front of the Goblin Shaman here, because if they are on the Fires of Invention deck, then we're just going to play Teferi and get rid of it after combat. Yeah, that's good. Cycling. Thought I clicked on that beforehand. Make a 2/2. A Memory Deluge is pretty good here. We're also taking off the Transmogrify by getting rid of their token. Now, granted, they do have the treasure token to do that with if they want. We're just going to play Field of Ruin here, and then at the end of their turn, we're going to cast Memory Deluge and hold up Mystical Dispute. Yeah, it flips into, like, Kiki-Jiki, basically. Okay. I mean, Chandra's a pretty good one. Was really hoping to have something to Mystical Dispute there. Am I just slamming Shark Typhoon here? I think I actually just want to slam... Oh, hang on. I think I just want to get down the Dream Trawler. And then I can protect it. Because I can pitch a Supreme Verdict here. Like, there's lots of good options. Plus, I can just attack Chandra down. Like, it won't be that hard. Okay. Honestly, next turn the play might just be attack Chandra with Dream Trawler and then slam Shark Typhoon. Okay. It's like I assume he's just going to take one of my lands here. That is so good. I mean, I guess I could have waited. Yeah, attack Chandra for 5. Get another card. Let's go. So we go back to 18. Yeah, I'm just going to hold up Shark Typhoon. Like, we can cycle Shark Typhoon into a 3/3 here. And, like, Chandra's going to do some work over time. That's fine. Alright, let's see if we can... I mean, this is for 8. This is enough to kill Chandra. We go to 15. Play Castle Vantress. We attack Chandra. We draw a card. We go to 20. We go to cleanup. We're going to discard Hallowed Fountain. I have no... Like, dual lands are cool, but, you know, they're not the end of the world. Like, they're not just doing it all right here. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if I want to show them Hullbreaker Horror. Okay, that's fine. Like, if they do some nonsense here, like if they transmogrify or something like that, then I might have to flash in the Hullbreaker Horror just to, like, set precedent, let them know that they're not getting away with anything here. I'm actually just gonna be able to Mystical Dispute. Ooh, ooh. Inter testing. We'll just flash this bad boy in response. And your Rorkthar is cool, but thanks for playing, bro. Okay, Hall of the Storm Giants is cool. That's going to put us to 9. We're going to return that to its owner's hand. You gonna veto this? Okay. Dovin's veto is pretty good. I don't know why I'm not getting any noise from Moto right now. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm not getting the lifelink noise, which is very weird, but I'm getting everything else. Okay. I mean, block this thing. Rorkthar is fine. I'm just going to cycle my land and put that back in your hand. It's good to know that they are playing Dovin's Veto. We go to 9. We draw. Trigger Dream Trawler. Alright, and then our opponent concedes. Alright, so it took us a minute. Like, that was a pretty long game, but we ended up getting game 2 there, so can live with that. We still want the... I mean, I think we want everything we have here. Like, my god, the Uruktar is going to be annoying to deal with, and they have a lot of good stuff, but I think we're in a pretty decent spot to deal with it all. Yeah, like, and if nothing else, we can just try to control the pace of the game and then, like, try to, like, use the Entreat the Angels card to win the game. I have knocked off my lands. That's the third time I've knocked off my lands this evening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I keep doing that tonight. Yeah, I like this hand. This hand's good. Our opponent also keeps 7. Okay. Okay. All right. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. And to think, this is only the second round. All right, opponent, start us off. Play Irrigated Farmland tapped and say go. We'll play that and say go. Probably play the Field of Ruin next turn because we can use the Field of Ruin. Ooh, they're cycling Shark Typhoon for 0, which tells me that their hand is questionable, that they're looking for probably lands. That or they have all lands and they're looking for gas. No, they're looking for lands. Okay, so that makes Censor twice as good here. Not gonna lie, you love to see that. Ooh, they don't have like a dispute or anything there? Okay, or not the dispute, the Omen of the Sea. I think I'm just going to go for the Field of Ruin now. They've hit a land, so actually that's wrong. I'm just going to do this. Take them off of white here. If they want white, they have to go to basic plains, which I'm okay with. I have a... Yeah, we'll just get an island. Play that on the white side and say go. Interesting. I imagine that their hand is pretty stacked if they kept their hand against us. Like they kept a land light hand against a control deck, which means their hand must be like just chocked full of gas. Hall of the Storm Giants will probably help us close the game as we progress here. Let's see. We're getting to where I feel comfortable cycling a Shark Typhoon to make something happen here. I'll shock in. While my life total is important, it's not like I'm needing to break my back or anything to really make sure that we're on the... like that our life total stays like at 20. Our opponent just concedes out of frustration. Like there was no reason for them to concede there. I mean, like that was a control dream, honestly, because like we were just sitting there like playing land and saying go, and just kind of staring at our opponent with multiple counter spells, and we were approaching the point to where I was going to cycle a Shark Typhoon for like 4, and just kind of start going that way, if they hadn't played anything. So I mean, that like from a control point of view, games don't get much easier than that. Paper. Come on. Can tell my hands are cold because I'm typing poorly. Hi, good luck, opponent. I think this hand's very reasonable. Like, if they're playing aggro, we have an answer. We have a couple of good counter spells and some top-end Teferi action here, so, like, this feels like a very reasonable hand to me. Honestly, if they're playing bird, this hand's stacked. Ooh. Am I also? Is this also blue-white control? Am I just playing the mirror? I mean, if it is, I just drew Dovin's Veto, so that's cool. My God, I'm playing the mirror. Might as well kill myself now. Play that and say go. So I'm probably just going to cycle my Censor here because I want to make sure that I hit a land drop. You do not want to miss land drops in the control mirror. So, oh no. Come on. Big bucks, no whammies. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, amazes me that we could miss a land with 26 in our deck that way, but we do have a good hand so far. We're still missing lands. Like, and we're gonna counter that here. Like, we have to. We have no choice. If we let, and if they slam a Teferi here, then like, oh well, man. See, that's tough. This one might be wrapped up here. If we don't hit a land right here, we're in bad shape. Well, that's a land. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but it is a land. Having 2 more Dovin's Veto in hand is nice, but it's also our only 2 others in the deck. God, yeah, see, I mean, I hate to be in that spot, but you gotta fight back. I'm just gonna say go here, and then I'm going to attempt to flash in a Wandering Emperor at the end of the turn. Also, depending on what they do, they might just keep playing cards here. Why do I keep throwing my cards in the friggin' floor? They're cycling a Censor, which means they're probably looking for a land to play. So we're going to flash this in and give them something to do here. Actually, no we're not. We're going to scry. I'm going to take the slow roll here where wow, we're going to put both of those on the bottom. I understand that Memory Deluge is great, but I want a friggin' land. See, and we were rewarded. We made a good decision, and we were rewarded. Field of Ruin is really good here. Like, Field of Ruin allows us to deal with the their Hall of the Storm Giants. See, they have their own Castle Vantress, so now they're scrying 2 also. And we've already used 2 of our Dovin's Vetoes, so that's kind of scary. So we're going to hit their Castle Vantress here. Okay. So we're going to get a Plains off the first one. And we're going to get an Island off the second one. It's a pretty interesting interaction. I'm curious to see if you fight back here. Like, do you absorb this again? It's like, I'm actually really curious to know if you do. I mean, we also had the line of just firing up the Hall of the Storm Giants and putting a counter on it, and then attacking for 10. But that seemed very, very risky, if you want the truth. We're going to cast this now because we know that there's no main deck mystical disputes. because we know that there's no main deck mystical disputes. Oh god, I just want the lands here. I'm actually okay with that. Our opponent might be stuck with a Supreme Verdict in hand, so they just cast Supreme Verdict here. Casting Teferi. Interesting. You're just slamming Teferi? They must have had Absorb backup. So there's a card we need to stick. That's also a really good card. Alright, so we're going to fire Apollo the Storm Giants here, and we're just going to send the Clowns at Teferi. They have to have a Fateful Absence to be able to kill that and pay 3 here. Oh my god, actually they can just do that, can't they? That's insane. Teferi goes down to 1. And then we're just not doing anything this turn, so Teferi's drawing them a lot of card advantage here. Resolving that in Narset is a problem. March of the Otherworldly Light, okay. Untap Farmland Island. Now they're going to go ahead and get rid of one now. But now we do kind of have free reign to attack the Teferi here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, we're going to attack the Teferi here and see what we can make happen. I'm kind of curious to fight over this. Like, we fight over this and we, like, see they're thinking about it, which means they have a Dovin's Veto in hand. Alright, so they're going to flash in a blocker here. So we're going to exile that. I'm going to go ahead and resolve this while I can. Make another token and pass here. So I think we're, I don't know. Like, I don't really know if we're ahead here, but it feels like we're in a decent spot. Having Dream Trawler as backup feels pretty good. They probably have a Supreme Verdict in their hand. They just rip another Narset. Now that's kind of obnoxious and can kind of be a problem here. Okay. Now you can see the entire board. Alright, so they make a token. They get rid of our token. They played the other Narset. Kill that. Okay. We're going to play the Portable Hole here. They Portable Hole our token, so there's no point in... we're actually just going to kill the Wandering Emperor here. I know that Narset gives them an extra card, but Let's run out Teferi and see what they do. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so I mean, they have to have... Okay, so their last card is Censor. We're going to play Irrigated Farmland tapped. We do have a Memory Deluge in our graveyard, but so do they. So, I mean, that's something to think about. We're going to crack the clue here into turn. Man, Dovin's Veto is really good. Is this Teferi? No, I mean, they know that we probably... Well, they've seen all 3 of our vetoes. They have... Right? All 3? Yeah, all 3. So, I mean, they know that we just don't have another one. Like, at least if we're playing the most recent list, they know we don't, so... This has been one of the most back and forth games of Control I've ever played. Alright, kill Narset. I mean, you have Censor Veto something in your hand. Like, you have to have an Essence Scatter here. Like, this is really solid. Because now we have... they cycle Censor. Because now we have Supreme Verdict to protect our Dream Trawler if we need it. They're scrying during their upkeep. I think that's pretty smart. Considering the amount of cards they have left, like, that we each have left in our deck. Like, we've seen a lot of our good cards so far. 2 cards to the bottom. Have we seen our other Shark Typhoon? No, we have not. Alright, so they have to have a March here, and they've already seen 2. No, I'm sorry. They've already seen 3. They have to have their 4th March here to be able to stop us from killing their Narset. Alright, well that's good that they didn't have that. Alright. We're going to take Absorb Narset. I'm actually just going to jam Narset here. While I know I have a window where they don't have Dovin's Veto up. And I am going to take Starnheim here. Because that card is insane. So now the cool part is that all I have to do is get something. I have to bait their Dovin's Veto out, and then I'm actually just kind of like free home sailing from there. Ooh, God, Teferi's rough. How many Teferis have we seen? There's got to be like a good number of Teferis in our deck. They put Narset second from the top. They cast Supreme Verdict. Huh. I mean... Let's foretell this. Let's shock this in and say go. Because this gives us the option to activate Castle Ardenvale if they try to fire up their Hall of Storm Giants to block or to kill our Teferi. I mean, maybe they have their last march here. They don't. Okay. Well, they're at least going to force us to spend our mana on that, which I'm pretty okay with. I mean, we just get to keep our Teferi here, and I'm pretty sure we have Narset coming. Draw a card. So cast Narset. Yep, we'll get that Dovin's Veto out of that hand, boy. Alright, now we're going to hard cast this thing. Or are we? We're basically throwing away our Teferi to do so. How many Dovin's Vetoes have we seen? We've only seen 2. Yeah, I don't think it's worth here, actually. We can actually make a 7/7 Shark. Just kidding. We can make a 9/9 Shark if we want to. We also have Absorb at the ready. White, white. Make a body. Seems pretty good. Alright, we're definitely in the driver's seat here. Yep. Make a 4/4. Play that. We're going to play this. We're going to plus. We're going to attack for 5. White, white, white. Absorb this. I'm just gonna 6 here. I mean, like I have a blocker. Alright. I mean, I guess they can Teferi, tuck my Teferi if they want. No, they're plussing. They feel like they need to plus to get there. I'm not saying they're wrong. Well, plus into Memory Deluge is pretty good. Into Supreme Verdict. Wow, okay. Alright, X is currently 4. Let's put this second from the top. Let's make a 2/2 and let's say go. I just want to try and end the game here. I want to have as much clock left as possible. I mean, Memory Deluge, flash that back, like find Teferi, do some dumb stuff is pretty good. Yeah, I guess there's still Supreme Verdicts left in... Oh, they just concede? Alright. Well, that felt like a pretty good game. It's nice to win a game like that, honestly. Fateful Absence is better than a lot of the removal we're playing. I do not want these. I'll leave in one Farewell. Yeah, we'll leave in one Supreme Verdict. I think it's good to be able to sweep the board in certain situations. So I like having that as an option. My god, it's been an hour and we're only in the second match. I hate blue-white control. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. This hand's really good. We're going to keep. I think the worst parts of that was game one. Actually a really good game. You don't see many games like that, so. Cycle for a 1/1, which will basically just allow us to see an extra card here. Honestly, if they cycle for a 2/2, I'm just okay with that. Let's just go for something here. Try to put something into play. Like, they'll probably fight over this. This allows us to have Censor and Absorb up, or Censor and Dovin's Veto. We don't want our opponent just scrying the rest of the game, so. Yep, we're going to fight over that. We're going to cycle away our Censor. We want to hit another land. Hitting Castle Vantress is awesome. This will allow us to just scry a bunch of times, so this feels pretty good. Like, again, if we're at the point in the game where they're just cycling their Shark here to try and do something, like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That 1/1 did more than enough. Like, I'm okay with that. They definitely have Dovin's Veto in their hand. You can see the way they're just posturing the whole time. Come on. Because EOT, I'm going to scry to for quite some time now. I did not mean to go one top, one bottom. Let's actually just do this. Let's put this on the bottom and this on the top. And we'll just say go here. Not great, me tapping that way. Like, again, that's fine. They're just making tokens here. Castle Ardenvale is a very good land in this matchup. Allows you to just make a bunch of 1/1s. Probably at some point just try to resolve a... We'll just say go here. Let's see. We'll probably just make a 6/6 Shark here and just try to hop in front. Like maybe they have marches in to try and deal with the tokens or something like that. As you're very well aware, I do not. Let's make a 3/3. Oh, so you do have an answer for it. Decided it's not worth it. Completely agree. It's a very good decision. We'll just say go here. We're not winning the race right now, so there's no reason to attack. Oof. That's a big sad. Gonna be honest, I don't really know how we beat that from here. Literally, I use my Castle Vantress. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world here. Yeah, we're just going to concede. We're just going to save as much time as we can for the third match here, for the third game of this series, and try to go from there. They had their Hullbreaker Horror and we didn't. So we need Supreme Verdict or Farewell in that instance to try and go for something like that. I think Dream Trawler will be really good on this match if we can get it on the field. I think this hand's great. Now we can play the pathway on the blue side. Just do this and we'll go ahead and get an island now. I don't want them to have Castle Vantress. That land causes so many problems. Like the fact that they just get to generate like just constant token generation to catch up is just terribly annoying. So recycling Censor here is probably a good bet. Like having it in the deck is fine. And I understand why we have it in the deck, but at the same time, like I don't like having it in the deck. I'm just gonna... Man, this is tough, because if we cycle a... Well, if we cycle a token and they flash in an Wandering Emperor, then, like, whatever. Yep, we're done. Let's make a 2/2. Finding an Absorb is, like, fine, but we'd rather see a land here. That's kind of tough. Not seeing the land there is a little disappointing, honestly. That might cost us this game. So I think this is a good spot to absorb. Like, I understand their reasoning. You got to get something on the board. You need to do something. Now, that sucks. Yep. Jeez. Alright, do us a favor here, deck. Help us out a little bit here, buddy. We're 26 land deck. We're 14 cards in. We should have seen a fifth one. And I can't just keep sitting here like cycling Shark Typhoons, like trying to find one. Like I have to make something happen here. Like maybe that's the correct line, is to make a 2/2 Shark. Yeah, see, they're just gonna slam Teferi, and like now they're miles ahead, miles. It's ridiculous, like how far ahead they are now. they'll probably just make a 2/2 here. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't. Like the Wandering Emperor has exiled a creature. It has done its job. We're going to put a counter on the token and then attack. Them having Teferi there was really good. They're not going to block. Let Teferi go to 2. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong, but I don't understand their reasoning there. So we have Mystical Dispute back up, but we can cycle into a 3/3 here at the end of the turn to start putting pressure on our opponent's Teferi. We already have a good amount of pressure here, but that would just be, like, getting Teferi off the board would be really good for us. I really don't understand what they're hoping to accomplish here. Like, I'm probably about to get blown out by something. Like, that's fine, I guess. We'll say okay. We want to make a 3/3 here. We want to be able to kill. Like again, these cards are good, but we need to hit lands here. Like, we need to be hitting land drops. Again, like, I just cannot stress enough how imperative it is that we hit land drops here instead of just, like, they're probably gonna let their Teferi die. Alright, so what are we doing here? We can't just jam Teferi because they have Mystical Dispute here. Like, it's very clear to me. Alright, let's make a token. And let's say go here. If we can get Teferi off the board, we're in a pretty decent spot. Let's make a 3/3 and block. I mean, this gives us 5 points to attack Teferi with, like... Supreme Verdict? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they're representing multiple counterspells here. Like, I mean... Us not drawing lands is just, like, us being stuck on lands has cost us this game. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think we just gotta jam our own Teferi here and just hope that it works out. Like, I don't see anything else going any other way for us. We gotta get cards out of their hands, like, out of their hand. We gotta make something happen. They've seen 4 extra cards now. 4 more cards than we have, just off Teferi. So I mean, like, that has generated enough card advantage for them to, like, be very far ahead of us to this point. All right, I'm gonna try and attack Teferi here. If we can get him a couple of attacks in here, maybe we can make something happen. All right, so we foretold the retreat, the entreat the angels card. I can't remember what it's called, but now we can cast Memory Deluge and have Mystical Disputes back up this turn if we need it for anything. Alright, cast Memory Deluge. They decide to Mystical Dispute. We will not fight. That's fine. Alright. They cast their own Memory Deluge? Okay. I mean, I don't think, like, I don't think there's ever a world where we're supposed to fight over that there. Alright. They literally just keep hanging on to that Teferi. We're going to make a token. Slam Teferi. They just have Dovin's Veto. Okay. We'll say go. If only Farewell dealt with Planeswalkers. Man, could you imagine if it did? The card would be bonkers. Even more bonkers than it already is. They've seen 11 more cards than us so far this game. Like, that is, like, very abundantly clear to me that that's why they're winning. Okay. I don't know. That's pretty risky here to just walk it into this, but like they have to have some kind of counterspell here. I mean, we're working them out of counterspells, like slowly but surely. Make a 2/2. We'll say go. We're gonna flash in the Wandering Emperor here and try to pump up. We can try to make our Samurai token a 4/4 here. That's basically our best chance. Now we can at least flash in Wandering Emperor with Mystical Dispute backup. I mean, they only have 4 cards left. They've seen a lot, like, we're running them out of cards. We just have to get the friggin' Teferi off the field. The Wandering Emperor, alright. The annoying part about that is that they can make their own. They can flash in their own thing, make their own token. Flash this in. We'll see what this is met with. They've already played 2 Dovin's Vetoes, so... Yep. We're going to make an extra token here. And we're going to send all of it at Teferi. There's not much of another option here. Like, Narset is annoying, and don't get me wrong, I know we need to get that off the field, but, like, none of that really compares to Teferi. Alright, we're going to do it. X is currently 3. Alright, well... Let's, I mean, they've played 2 Supreme Verdicts. Like, if they have many more, like, I would be pretty surprised, honestly. Cycle a Shark Typhoon? For a 5/5? Okay. plus Teferi, and off Narset they take an Absorb. That's pretty good. Create a 2/2. This has been one of the longest games of my life. It's been almost like I would like we're banking on miserable territory here. I really dislike these blue-white mirrors. Like in a competitive setting, I don't mind to play this kind of stuff, but like here, like this is just kind of miserable. Like I'm like, who enjoys this? Like obviously there's some group of people out there in the world that does, but God, it's not me. I'll tell you that. Doing something before combat? Like playing Cryptic Command now? I am going upstairs, bro. You are playing March of the Otherworldly Light. Like, that must be your only one after board. Okay. And if they actually cast a spell here at the end of the turn, there's a pretty good chance we can just Mystical Dispute it. Let's make a 1/1. There is an island left in our deck. They have 17 cards left in their library, and we have 34. Cast Memory Deluge. That's your last Mystical Dispute. I mean, I think we had to go for it there if you want the truth. Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know when else we're going to go for that. I mean, the hard truth is that they have 3 friggin' Planeswalkers on the field, and we have none. Like, that, like, the missing lands early cost us this game. And I even cycled to try and find land drops there, but you have to hold up spells while maintaining land drops. I don't know why my opponent said lol. Is that the first? That's the first Dovin's veto we've seen all game. That's crazy. That's actually crazy to think about. Alright, that's the last Dovin's veto. I mean, there's just no attacking to be done here. I missed the league. How did it go? I went 1-4. So the list that you sent me, there was no Teferis in it, and I couldn't figure out why there was only 57 cards. And like game 2, I realized that there was no Teferis in the deck, and I was just playing a 20-second land and 2 Spell Pierce, and it was not as good as the Teferis. So it was a tough league. I had a good time though. It was fun. Yeah, the best part is that there's still a Hullbreaker Horror somewhere in my deck. Where, I have no clue, but there is one somewhere. Thought that was all their Dovin's vetoes. Oh, nope, they had one more. Yeah, I mean, we're just saying go here. Like, there's just nothing to do. Sorry? Oh, dude, there's nothing to be sorry for. It's all good, man. Like, I still had a good time. Like, I enjoyed playing Mill. Like, honestly, even if I'd had Teferis, like, it probably wouldn't have gone that well anyway. I'm not very good at playing non-burn things, so... Alright, well, I'm going to take 8. I'm going to take a lot more than that, actually. Take 11. Go to 10. We're going to go to 13 here. I guess Hullbreaker Horror here. Man. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, is it in here? There's Dream Trawler. Yeah, I'm not going to keep drawing cards. Oh well. That was definitely the longest game I'll play all night. Ended up winning game 1 of that blue-white control mirror. We kind of edged our opponent out with some good play, in my opinion. Like, just honestly, I had some pretty good play game 1, and we edged our opponent out over time. And then games 2 and 3 took a decade because it was the blue-white control mirror. So thank you, Kyle. If you're watching this on YouTube or the VOD or whether you're watching it live, I hate you for making me sit through that. Oh, let's see. What is this? Oh, Flesh and Blood cards are getting spoiled for the new set, which is funny because the Pro Tour hasn't even happened for the current set. Yeah, so I think the funniest part about that entire game is that I played an entire game where we never saw Dream Trawler and we never saw Hullbreaker Horror. Like, we had less than half our cards left and we never saw either one of those. We also didn't see any of our entire playset of Dovin's Veto until we were, like, 28 or 30 cards into the deck. And I think that's just, like, honestly, like, I think that's a recipe for, like, losing. We missed our 5th land drop early, and after that, like, the game just kind of spiraled out of control. Slowly but surely, we lost the game after that over time, so we're going to bounce back. We're going to bounce back, and we're going to get we're going to finish with a 2-3 here, though. I can feel it. Feeling good about it. Or I mean a 3-2. If I said 2-3, I meant 3-2. Alright, here we go. Oh, it's Doomwake. He must be playing Pioneer. And good luck, opponent. Playing Yorion. His hand's probably not going to be great against Yorion, but... Oh my god, he's also playing blue-white control. I'm just going to have to throw myself off of a bridge after this game. No, he's playing the Jeskai Creativity deck that we played against earlier. What the heck? I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those times you just kind of take the free ones. Just gonna kind of take the free ones. Oh, also, randomly, Duran's Hybrid, thank you for the sub. I noticed that that happened after I was offline yesterday, so thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, brother. Or thank you for the sub, she, whoever. Not picky. Subs are subs. I like this hand. Like, this is probably the first hand I felt pretty solid about, honestly. Like, there was a hand earlier tonight that felt pretty good, but this is one of those ones that I look at and I think, yeah, like, this is what I want to be doing. I like having the Starnheim Unleashed early in the game, but at the same time I don't, because, like, it's just slow. Like, it's a card that, like, you're never casting on turn 4, and realistically you want to cast it for at least 3. So, our opponent has went Mountain, go. Yeah, the end of the Bugbear, go. Kinda hoping they just slam a Chandra here, if you want the truth. Because if they slam a Chandra, then we're just going to veto it. We're going to send that thing packing. What is our opponent doing here? Truly have no idea what's going on right now. Our opponent is just playing lands and saying go. And then they concede. Okay, did I miss the memo? Are people just conceding to me now? Like, what is happening? Alright, well, they're playing Mountain, so I'm going to assume it's red aggro. Weird part about that, we probably don't want the Unleashed, the Starnheim card here. It's probably not that great. Cut at Teferi, it's a little slow. Narset is good, but bad at the same time. Mystical Dispute, nah. They're not really playing a ton of spells. I think I definitely want the Fateful Absence here. Cut a Memory Deluge, again a little slow, and then Wandering Emperor seems awesome here. March of the Otherworldly Light seems pretty good. What? We'll cut a Verdict. No, I can't do that in good faith. We're gonna cut a Deluge. I don't know if that's right or not. But we definitely want these 5 spells. We might want the we might also want the Dovin's Vetoes after we see a little bit more of this. We got a mulligan this. I mean, one-landers are just like, you can never keep those. I mean, this hand has the cards that we want. I'm questionable keeping a 2-lander here if you want the truth. Oh, they were playing red-black. No wonder they conceded. Okay. Probably playing Rakdos Midrange here, honestly. Yep, it is definitely Rakdos Midrange. I mean, maybe they try to, like, jam a Planeswalker or something here, and we can just veto it. I don't know what 3-mana Planeswalker they're playing. I think none, but nonetheless would feel nice. Wandering Emperor is going to be pretty solid here. Oh, get that trash out of here. Thanks for playing. That felt pretty good. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Hope to hold up Absorb here, and then next turn, hopefully we pull an untapped white source so that we can just slam a Wandering Emperor. Make our opponent cry a little bit. Play something good for us, please. Oh, yes. Man, that feels good. The Aether Gust is fine. It's not as good here. Knowing that they are on black, it does make this a little bit worse. Absorb literally just time walked them because they attacked the 3 life, just punched us back up to 17, and then they didn't get a spell, so that feels pretty good. Would really like to see a land here. I mean, we're kind of in a spot like where we want to be seeing lands. Like, return that to our hand, and we discard a card. Right now, that's looking like Farewell. I understand that Farewell is insane, but at the same time, we also just can't be sitting here holding 6-drops in our hand when we're missing lands. I think we need to cycle this to try and hit a land. And they're probably realistically taking our Supreme Verdict here. Or maybe they're just taking one of our Wandering Emperors. Okay, maybe they felt like that was worth. Yep, we'll go to 11 here. We know they have Bonecrusher Giant and X in hand. I mean, if they fire up the Hive of the Eye Tyrant here to attack the Wandering Emperor, that's really not the end of the world for us. Chandra. So they're going to plus add mana, and then they're going to use that to kill the Wandering Emperor. That's not a bad turn. We will attack Chandra. Knowing that they're on Rakdos makes our plays a little bit, makes our sideboarding decisions a little bit different going into our second game here. Or going into the third game. It's very possible that I should have Aether Gust to the K command. Like that should have been my play. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is such a good Magic card. Like that card is seeing so much play now, and I'm honestly really glad for it. We'll scry 2 at the end of the turn. I mean, we're not doing anything else. It's like they might kill our token, but like we're not doing anything else. I sadly think that both of those have to go to the bottom. Scry 2. Put those on the bottom and say go here. I know that our decision could have changed, but was more than likely not going to, so... Gonna play Blood Tithe Harvester, make an extra blood token, play the Bonecrusher Giant. I mean, that's a pretty solid turn for them. They generated some card advantage and put 7 power into play. Alrighty then. We're just gonna concede here. Knowing that they're on red-black, we're gonna sideboard more appropriately. Rest in Peace doesn't really seem that good, to be honest. I mean, like, you want all these removal spells. You want all the marches, too, because, like, the portable holes don't, like, they deal with a lot of the lower end stuff, so maybe you don't, like, I still think you want some number of that. They're kind of a slower deck. So we're probably trying to like get in front of them with some of this stuff. So I think cutting a couple of portable holes for a Shark Typhoon and a Hullbreaker Horror is worth it. Because Hullbreaker Horror is awesome. Yeah, this hand's good. We're going to have Castle Vantress and into Eiganjo to hold up Dovin's Veto here. Followed by Desert Beach. Alright, that's the last time I'm dropping a card tonight. Feels like it's kind of late to be saying that because, you know, I've dropped like... That's like the 5th time I've dropped cards, but still. I mean, they were on a mulligan to 5. So, like, even if they have a couple of... Like, if they have a couple of hand disruption spells, that means they don't have a lot for us to beat. Like, that means that their hand is kind of weak and already kind of running out of cards, so... They take Absorb. We'll hold up Veto here. Like they probably won't play anything for us to veto this turn, but we'll just hold it up anyway. Just gonna play Irrigated Farmland, and then they know everything Deserted Beach and over. Yeah, I think we're just supposed to go to 12 here and see what they do. They know we have some kind of answer. Alright, let's make a 3-3 here and see what they do. Oh, man. Yep. If they have a Fatal Push or something here, it's kind of a blowout, but I think it's a good chance for us to try and hop in front. It's a good way to deal with the Bone Crusher Giant effectively. Hopefully they don't have like Chandra as like a follow-up here. Soaring as a follow-up is not as bad. Alright, so it's a little greedy to just slam this like this, but I think we might have made it to the promised land here. Given the way that the game has played out, I think Shark Typhoon is going to be bonkers here. Red-Black really only has, like, they actually only have Feed the Swarm. There's not, kind of only, they only have Feed the Swarm to deal with this. Okay, so they take Graveyard Trespasser. I mean, that's a pretty good one to hit. The fact that they're going to exile one of my things instead of their Bone Crusher Giant, I mean, I guess they have K-Command, so it's not like crazy. I mean, counter your Bone Crusher Giant and make a 2-2. Seems pretty good. Like, maybe we should have just went for the Absorb there, but I like being able to... like, this feels good. Like, this is kind of where... this is just kind of like where March starts to take over. They put Dreadbore into their hand. I'm curious to see how they attack. So we're just going to cast... make a 2-2, exile that. We will take 3, go to 12. Because we're going to kill their Soaring. This feels pretty good here. And then we get to make a Castle Ardenvale token here to jump in front of the flip side of this. So he's just going to cast his Dreadbore on one of my tokens. Alright, that's fine. I think as long as I'm putting stuff in front, this is okay. Like, they have to start exiling their own stuff to, like, drain and gain some life here, and if that's what they want to do, that's fine. So they did. They did decide to do that. Now, they have no other creatures left, so... Huh. I just hate to have this discarded. And it's just so good to just go ahead and get rid of this. Like, because next turn we can scry during our upkeep and have 3 mana open. Our opponent just conceded? Oh, I mean, maybe they felt like they just couldn't beat Shark Typhoon. I don't know. That was, like, getting to slam Shark Typhoon in a spot where we were in a pretty decent racing position, like, and also just Shark Typhoon making tokens every turn was insane. So that was pretty good. 3-2 league with the old blue-white control deck. You know, it wasn't too bad. Like, I enjoyed the league as much as I could. I'm a burn player at heart, always have been. I really like playing the control deck, though. I like seeing how it changes from time to time, and I like seeing what the new builds feel like. We lost the blue-white control mirror, which was a little disappointing because I felt like we were in a pretty good standing if we hit lands on curve. And I can't remember what our other loss was to. Oh, it was to Winota. We just got ran over game 1. Game 1 of that, we had to mulligan to 4, and so we didn't really get to play. But it was fun, though. I had a good time playing this. So that was it for tonight's stream. I'm going to find somebody to raid and get out of here. Guys, if you came by and hung out tonight, I really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys keeping me busy.